Whatever it takes for as long as it takes, but there's still hope that we can find Madeleine.
13 years ago, on the evening of May 3, 2007, 3-year-old Madeleine McCann disappeared from a holiday apartment in Praia da Luz, Portugal, while her parents were dining in a restaurant 55 metres away.
She wasn't in our bed. And that was the first time where, I guess, a panic kicked in.
What followed was one of the largest missing person hunts in history. Among the first suspects for the abduction were Kate and Jerry McCann, Madeleine's parents.
We're not the ones that's done something wrong here, it's the person who's gone into that apartment and taken a little girl.
The Portuguese police provoked those suspicions. They developed an early theory that Madeleine was involved in a fatal accident in the apartment and that her parents tried to cover it up. The crux of that evidence was the sniffer dogs used during the investigation, who detected the scent of blood and a human body inside the McCann's apartment and rental car. The scents were detected behind the couch in the McCann's apartment, which prompted an early theory that Madeleine had fallen there. But the work of cadaver and blood detecting dogs is not evidence that can be used on its own in court. And the DNA samples Portuguese police sent to a British forensics lab were ruled inconclusive. In the crucial days after the abduction, Portuguese police made several careless errors. Not everyone at the resort was interviewed at the time, and the crime scene wasn't adequately secured. The apartment was even rented out to other tourists after a month, before being sealed off again in August 2007 for further forensic testing.
After the initial Portuguese investigation closed, essentially no one other than us was actually doing anything proactively to try and find Madeleine.
British police opened their own investigation, Operation Grange, in 2011, later releasing images of a suspect in 2013 who was seen carrying a child towards the beach that night.
We're focused on the area between 8:30 and 10, and we know that at around 10 p.m. that was when Mrs. McCann found that Madeleine was missing.
Though the investigators eventually came to view the sighting as a red herring, along with the handful of alleged sightings of Madeleine over the years.
It shows a little girl with a striking resemblance to Madeleine McCann.
Is this little girl seen in Morocco missing Maddie McCann?
In 2019, a former detective who was hired by the McCanns, David Edgar, said he believed Madeleine was still alive. He believes the perpetrators would have been planning the abduction carefully and watching Madeleine for days.
I would never have taken a risk. It was something that wasn't even a decision, that's how safe it felt.
If we had thought it was unsafe for a minute, if there was any conscious element that somebody was going to go into that apartment and steal your child, then of course we wouldn't have done that.
What the McCanns didn't know is that assaults on young girls in the area were unusually high at the time. Police identified 18 similar cases along the Algarve coast over a 6-year period, with several identified as near misses. In one case from 2005, a 10-year-old girl was assaulted in an apartment in Praia da Luz, close to the spot where Madeleine vanished. This particular case has formed part of fresh inquiries into a new prime suspect.
Ermittelt die Staatsanwaltschaft Braunschweig gegen einen 43-jährigen deutschen Staatsangehörigen.
German police have now announced that they suspect a convicted sexual predator, Christian Bruckner, is responsible for Madeleine's disappearance.
Wegen des Verdachts des Mordes.
It's considered a major breakthrough, and perhaps the McCann family will finally know what happened to their daughter.
No parent's going to give up on their child unless they know for certain their child's dead, and we just don't have any evidence.